What's up, everyone? We are back for some more Mecha Break gameplay. Going to be checking out our third and final of the unlockable strikers currently available in the game, and that is going to be Inferno. And the reason I saved Inferno for last is because if you were able to participate in past betas, you may have gotten a chance to play him already, while Stellaris and Serenith are totally new this time. But I say past betas, the last beta, while Inferno was technically available, you had to get a pretty absurd amount of points in grinding Mashmak, which I don't even know if it was actually possible, because I think you had to max out your points for 3 weeks, and the beta may have ended before that point. It was a pretty long beta, but I don't know if it went long enough. But either way, I doubt many people grinded out enough points when it was, said that our account was going to get reset for the full release, so there really wasn't much of a point for grinding that hard for a striker that you would have been able to play for a couple days at best. So yeah, this is going to be a lot of people's first chance to play Inferno again after a long time. And I gotta say, I'm a little disappointed. I've been able to play Inferno since the closed beta over a year ago, and at that point, a lot of people were considering him one of the best strikers in the game, if not the best, at that time of that closed beta when I talked to other people who were playing it with me. And I feel like he's come down a lot since then. Probably could have used some adjustment because he was really strong, but I think they may have overcorrected because I'm thinking he's actually pretty weak, arguably one of the weakest in the game right now. But before we get into more discussing that, I do want to talk about all the abilities. So your main weapons are going to be your charged beam splitters. You've got one on each arm. You can charge them together to do the focus shots, which I've been doing for most of this match so far. But you can also fire them individually, and they do a shotgun blast, which has very respectable damage, and I probably should use it more often than I do. But I feel like one of Inferno's things it struggles with is that it can run out of ammo pretty easily, and you can fire those shotgun blasts a lot faster. You're going to be able to fire the charge shots, so you're going to run out of ammo even faster. And I'm still running out of ammo if I'm just keep doing those charge shots over and over again. So you won't see me going for that a lot, but they do have good damage, and I think they might actually kill faster as long as you're up close and landing shots with them than just doing the charge shots over and over again. But that's the main focus I'm going to be doing for them is the charge shots, because they just have better range and a little bit better ammo usage, since it gives some some time in between shots to refill some of that ammo. But then for your auxiliary skills, 2 of them are offensive and 1 of them is defensive. The first one is this charged splitter beam, which I'm doing right now. And that one is okay damage. It behaves very similarly to Hurricane if you played Hurricane, so not a whole lot different there. I don't know if the damage numbers are much different, but functionally they're pretty much the same. It targets most things kind of in your field of view. I think you can lock onto like 12 targets at once, so you're never gonna really be in a position, unless maybe you're facing a ton of NPCs in Mashmak, where you're not gonna be able to hit everything you're looking at. But it also targets missiles, so if you're fighting a Stego, or maybe a Skyraider or a Falcon, it will auto-target those missiles and blast them out of the air as well, so it can be useful for that. And other than that, it's a respectable damage option, but generally just better for hitting a group of people all at once. You can certainly use it against a single target if you just need some extra damage, because it doesn't have too long of a cooldown, but generally you're going to want to use the second option, which I was using just there, which is the focused version of that beam. And that does really good damage. It's only single target, but the damage keeps ramping up as you're hitting someone, so it's kind of like a Void Ray from StarCraft or something, and if they don't get out of that targeting from that, you're going to be doing a lot of damage. The downside is, of course, that it's not too hard to get out of it, so it's great against Tricera, who is someone who we'd like to be able to do a lot of damage to, since it's very hard to kill them, so definitely a good thing there. But against like Falcon or Skyraider, you're going to have a hard time getting more than a few ticks of damage on them unless they're flying like in a straight line directly at you. And I don't even think you can really up your sensitivity to help with that. It seems like it's locked at a certain rate of being able to turn. I tried in the training room, I upped my sensitivity to max and tried it, and it still didn't seem like I was turning any faster. So I think you're just going to have to kind of preemptively turn that to focus people or save it for less mobile targets. But you still have the splitter version of it for that if need be. But your final option, which I did pop just now because Welkin was on me, that is your booster kit. And that's the part of Inferno's kit that I think has received the biggest nerf. It still more or less does the same thing. If you read the description for it, it says it gives you a big burst of energy regen and shield recharge. And that's partially true. It does give you the shield recharge. If your fluid shields are completely out, you'll see they refill pretty quickly, which is very nice in fighting anyone who's not like a melee. It's going to pretty much recharge half your health bar, which is really nice. But the energy regen part has been significantly nerfed. It does give you a little bit of an instant burst of energy, like Panther's booster kit charges that he has 3 of. It's similar to that, where when you activate the ability, it gives you a little boost for that, which can be nice if you run out of energy completely. But as for the consistent energy regen, not so much. It does seem to give you a lot of energy regen if you're completely grounded, but if you're airborne, which you want to be airborne most of the time as Inferno to give yourself more targets to aim at with your lasers and just to make yourself harder to hit, it does not keep up with energy consumption just from floating. You can just be floating in midair and using your beams, and you'll still be losing energy even with booster kit active. So that kind of stinks, and that's definitely not how it functioned back when I first tried him in the closed beta. It was basically unlimited energy, and you could just boost all over the place. It made him one of the best key carriers in Eye of Mizra, because if you picked up the key, you could activate your booster kit, and you just had unlimited energy. You could make a beeline for the rocket, and those after images it leave behind, which it does still have those, that pulls enemy targeting, so that can be really nice. But now that you don't get all that energy, it can be harder to even take advantage of the after images, because if you were caught kind of low on energy when you had to activate it in the first place, you might not have a lot of energy to spare to keep dashing, and not as much after images to really take their focus. But it still works as a defensive option. It's all you got, so when you've got a melee person on you, you definitely want to pop it, because it also gives that stagger immunity, so they can't lock you in place with the melee attacks. So you will see me using that a lot. But as soon as that's down, you're probably going to be low on energy, and you don't really have many other options. Yeah, you can see right here, I've got the booster kit going, but I basically had no energy. It just ended, and I'm really low on energy. I couldn't really, I had to sit still and wait for some of it to recharge, and now this Panther and the Welkin are both on me, so end up going down there, so it bought me a little bit of extra time, but not enough to survive. And on top of that, the booster kit does have an effect where it changes the color of your first and second skills to be a bright red instead of their normal kind of orangish color. And I think in past versions that may have meant it dealt increased damage, but there's nothing about that in the tooltip for the skill anymore. And when I was testing it out in the training range, the damage numbers definitely were not increasing, but it seemed like it may have ticked damage ever so slightly faster. But when I was comparing health bars, it seemed like not a very noticeable effect. So I think at the end of the day, you're still mainly just going to use it for the defensive option. If you guys have noticed that it does do more damage or something, please let me know. But from my testing, it seemed to do very little, if anything, to increase damage. So I would still mostly rely on that for its defensive functionality. But we did use it there to get away from that Stellaris who was camping this last point. And now that we've capped 2, we've got over a 200-point lead. Welkin's got 2 people to fight here. He does get me caught. Friendly Welkin comes in to help, puts him in that box. And 1 more second is all we need. Gonna tip over to max points. And it's gonna be a win there. So I didn't get to talk much about the map aside Armory, but that is the new point capture map we've got, like Crop Sinkle. And I'm not sure I'm the biggest fan of it yet, but I do need to play it more, so we'll see if our opinions change on that. But going into Game 2, we're going to be back in the old familiar Cape Blanc Observatory. I feel like I've played this map more than any other. Thankfully, it has grown on me a bit. I wasn't the biggest fan of this game mode type for the longest time, because I feel like it's the one where people don't really pay attention to the objectives at all. But I feel like player base has gotten a bit better. I'm sure some of you would disagree, but it's still not, I still feel like I have to pay attention to the objectives a lot, but at least allies sometimes get an extract and sometimes interrupt someone else going for it, so it's a little bit better for me. But I'm sure as we play with more coordinated people, maybe it'll grow on all of us a little bit more, but we'll have to see if that ends up being the case. But off to a good start, got that early kill, and then just trying to continue doing these charge blasts. Against Inferno there, when he's charging his lasers, it might be worth dashing up to him doing the shotgun blast, but with the first splitter skill ability, it actually can work like a shotgun as well, where I said it targets like up to 12 targets in your view, but I think if you get close to someone with it, you can hit them with multiple beams at once, so that could be risky. I get too close to Inferno there and go for that. But this is going to be a bit of a tough match, because they have 2 flyers. It looks like they've also got a Narugami lurking, and I don't think they have either turret guy for me to really focus, so gonna be tough perhaps to find targets for that focused laser, so it may be more difficult for me to get my damage off. But maybe when someone's going for a dismantle on one of the extractors, maybe that'll be my time to shine, and I can blast them with that. But you're going to be seeing here, I'll try and point out when it happens, but I'm going to try and be smart with my booster kit usage. Some of you guys brought this up in the Serenad's video that you can cancel the Disruptor. I should have mentioned that there's a lot of abilities like that, so I kind of just didn't cover it at all. But yes, a lot of the channeled abilities like that can be canceled early, and they refund some of your cooldowns. So you can do that with all 3 of Inferno's abilities. But I think the most important one is the booster kit, because, like I said, that's really kind of your own defensive option. Even if it has been pretty heavily nerfed compared to its greatest points, I still think it's a good option when you really are in a bad situation. Like right now, where I wish it was off cooldown, but it's not. I'm trying to interrupt this other Inferno, and you saw me do 1 shotgun shot there, but unfortunately that was a bit too late. But I did end up going down. But what I want to say about the booster kit is that sometimes when people see you use it, they'll realize they're not going to be able to hit you for a while, and they'll just give up and go somewhere else. Sometimes they'll wait around for it to end, and that sucks, and there's not really anything you can do about that, aside from get as far away as you can from them, or hope for teammates who are coming to help. But if they do turn their focus away, because they see, oh, Inferno's doing his thing, after images, I can't target him, and they turn and move away, then you can cancel it. And just hope they don't realize you canceled it yet, and that'll give you a shorter cooldown, and then when they do think about targeting you again, it might be off of cooldown again already. And that same thing applies to other defense abilities, like with Serenad. If you use the Disruptor, and then someone's like, alright, Serenad isn't targetable, I got better things to do, then you can cancel it, and then you'll have it back sooner when you need it. And with the beams, you can do the same thing. You know, if you're trying to target someone with the beam, and then they move up behind a mountain or something, you can turn it off, and then you'll have it back sooner for when you actually have someone you can target. But right there, we definitely didn't want to turn it off. We did get the kill on the other Inferno. We're currently 2-2, so I'm hoping my allies can get dismantled here. Inferno is not going to be the best for doing things on objectives, because while I do have the booster kit as a defensive option, it kind of requires me to be moving to really get any benefit out of it. So I can't really use it while I'm trying to capture something. And they have a Welkin box here, which is very good at getting an objective, but thankfully we're able to burn it down fast enough. You're going to see me a lot when Welkin uses his box. I'm going to try and just beam it down as fast as I can, but a single person attacking the Welkin box takes a while to kill, so you really got to hope your teammates are helping you out as well. And it looks like by some miracle, I think we did get that dismantled even though Welkin was on top of it. But Welkin is a horrendous matchup for Inferno. You can kind of burst down the box like I've been trying, but then he also has his shield option, and that shield has a property where it kind of dissipates energy damage that's coming towards it, so you can't really get through it on your own, and Welkin is kind of just effectively invincible, and he can shuffle that with his box, and you're going to be sitting there blasting away and doing pretty much nothing to him. If you can actually hit him, his energy defense isn't crazy high, but that doesn't really matter because it's very hard to hit him. So you're probably going to find that Welkin is one of your toughest opponents, but melee in general is rough for you because you got the booster kit to get away, and while that's nice, it gets you away for a bit and it recharges your fluid shields. Melee doesn't really care about fluid shield, so if they're focusing you as soon as that booster kit ends, they're just going to beat the hell out of you because energy is a bit of a problem for Inferno, fortunately. But I'm trying to stay alive as long as I can here because I can't really make a play for B, but I can try and keep them off of it. Thankfully, teammate Panaka is helping out. He healed me a bit. Has focused on healing himself right now. We might be able to get a kill on this Lumine. Trying to run away. Honestly, I probably should have gone for the focus beam there. I don't think I would hit him with much of it, but he was low enough that just a few ticks would have been great. So I think I missed out on getting the kill there, and now he's going to go and heal himself in a corner probably and come back and help again. But for now, the best I can do is still just contest this Inferno going for it. And I think some of my team is starting to show up. Feels like we're fighting everyone though, but kind of pinned by Welkin. I was actually outside the box, it looks like, but up against the mountainside, kind of low on energy. He was able to finish me off. So both extractors are up right now. As I'm spawning back in, it looks like we got one and they got one. So we're still maintaining our narrow lead. But so far, I've just kind of been contesting stuff. Like I said, tough to make any sort of actual objective plays myself. I'm just going to keep shooting what I can, occasionally getting those charge shots on the flyers. And I can poke at them, and then I gotta kind of just have to hope that they won't run off and find Lumine to get healed, because it's hard to get enough focus damage at one moment to land the kill. And that's and in addition to the other things I've mentioned, that's why I consider Inferno kind of one of the weaker strikers right now. You have great theoretical damage, but people kind of have to sit still and take a beating for a while for you to actually get the kill. And Lumine is very popular right now. Welkin is, I predict, gonna stay very popular unless he gets nerfed at some point. And that's just kind of all bad matchups for you, and melee in general being kind of rough. But maybe Inferno has a place just by being able to burn down Tricera. If teams coordinate together and you just get everyone to shoot at Tricera when you're firing your laser, that might be enough to justify an Inferno pick. We'll have to see. Serendis might be better in that situation, but Inferno might be better just because there's not the risk of dealing damage to your melees if they're also going to go in. I don't know. We'll have to see. I think people will probably feel that Inferno is weaker as well, but I'm curious to hear thoughts. But on top of that, you've also got the ammo issues and the energy issues. I don't know, just kind of a lot that doesn't feel like it's going in this mech's favor, but you do have the damage when you can land it, so not all bad, of course. But we're still 1 point ahead in this match, and here comes Welkin. I'm going to preemptively pop that booster kit, and then he does kind of go towards the objective, so I can cancel that. Get some damage on him. He did have the box, he did have the shield, but thankfully we had other threats nearby to force him off of it, but there's a lot of them here, and you can see I'm hitting that Welkin shield doing 0 damage. That's still active for him right now. Changing focus to Inferno. All these Panaka walls, I think these are friendly Panaka walls, I don't think they have one. Are kind of helping, kind of not helping. Unfortunately, the box came out, and then we couldn't burst through that quick enough. So 5-5, we're all tied up now. Random shot on that Narukami. I was almost certain that was going to be a Narukami clone, and I was firing a shot to get rid of the clone, but it turned out to be the real one. So, good kill there. And here we are, out of ammo again. But thankfully, we're kind of in a position where we're rotating towards the new objective anyways, so I don't need ammo desperately at the moment. But you can see how slowly those individual rounds are coming back. I guess if you rotate between the two firing shotgun blasts, you're kind of getting double the shots, but I don't know. I'll have to test out more with the shotgun. Right now, I feel like it's a cool thing that's hard to use in practice. But maybe if I get a match against Stego and Tricera, I'll be spamming the shotgun shots more and get some value out of them. But it looks like we did get one more. Wait, no, actually 2 more. We got both the next ones. Clear tied 5-5. Oh, no, it was a big extractor. Okay, never mind. So we got that big one. Now we're only 1 point off from the win. Once again, popping booster kit preemptively on that Welkin. See him turn his focus away, and I cancel it to get a refund. Less than 10 seconds on the cooldown if you do that pretty quickly, which is nice. So I should have that up with plenty of time until the next objective to come down. Still see Falcon flying around, Skyra flying around. Gonna take some pot shots at him where I can. I go for the focus laser a little bit there, but you can see as he flew over my head, I couldn't turn around to get any more focus on him. Now Falcon's beating me up. Trying to be greedy here. I don't want to pop my booster kit because I want to save it for the melees. But Illuminate's here too, they're all coming after me. And this is where the shield regen is really nice, because Falcon can't get through my shields very quickly, so I'm now back to full shields right away, which is really nice. Illuminate, not so much, but when there's not melee around, it's a little bit better. But Illuminate, Falcon are kind of focusing me, but while this is happening, my ally is able to get the last dismantle, and with that, we're able to get the win. Even managed to score the MVP despite not being able to go for many objectives myself, but happy to get the win there, and topping the scoreboard with damage-wise. So, oh, well, actually slightly beat out by the Narukami, it looks like, but overall really good damage, so we're able to make it work there. But yeah, I'm curious to hear your guys' thoughts. Sorry if I came across a little bit too negative on Inferno. I just want to be fair. I do think it's fun when you actually get to just blast stuff with your lasers, but if you're trying to keep power level in mind when you're choosing what to unlock, I think Inferno is probably lower on the priority list. But if you just want to blast people with big lasers, by all means, go ahead and unlock them, or you can try them and see how you feel yourself. But that's going to be it for this time, guys. Let me know what you think of Inferno, and also let me know what other strikers you'd like to see videos on. Now that we've gotten through the unlockable guys, we can go back and look at some of the other ones that have been around for a while. So yeah, let me know what you'd like to see more of. But thanks everyone for watching, and I'll see you next time.